Soul Garden.
Hello officers, Scorpios, and welcome back to Soul Horoscopes Weekly Update. From my webcam to yours, I'm Christopher Witecki, your host to the universe. And you've got 1 week left to take advantage of my new sale. If you buy 1 hour with me, you'll get a free 30-minute follow-up right now at soulmart.me. This is a Skype session, it's one-on-one, it's deep, it's anywhere you want to go, and it's a follow-up, plus both readings are MP3 recorded and emailed to you. So take advantage while Witecki supplies last. The Scorpions are having an intense, we're all having an intense, just so you know. We are moving into Virgo, which is what is most real. That's what is most real in anyone's life. It's the nitty-picky details of reality. It's never a fun time. And strangely enough, when it comes to being picky, guess where Scorpios are the pickiest? Well, it's in how they see themselves in the world. They are probably the most irritated by being wrongly titled something, wrongly named something. And if you try to take away their control over who they are in the world, they don't like that. That's because you use Virgo consciousness to really manage your reality. A Scorpio who is willing to kill or be killed in that kind of birth energy is very picky about who their friends are and very picky about where they hang out in the world. And that is the Virgo energy. So when we work on Virgo energy, we're working on our heart chakra. I, love, and IB both emanate from the green energy, and that is the chlorophyll of life, literally, that brings power from God conscious, the sun. It's no accident. We're in just chapter 1, which is the live stage of Virgo. The 3 Virgo stages are live, love, be. That's where we get it. And so in the live stage, you're focusing on how you live, in your case, in the world. Your context consciousness is what we're talking about. How you see yourself in the context of the world. So maybe you are the firstborn, and maybe you are the brightest, the smartest, the prettiest, the strongest, the weakest, the last one on the block, the last one to get married, whatever. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. These are all the contexts that we allow ourselves to believe in, and it's very important to choose the right context. Of course, context is based on what you love. You belong where your heart is. It's that simple. That's it. You can really write 12 commandments from the Bible. You belong where your heart is. And that is what it is. So contextually, that's what you're working on. This changes into title, and this moves into social life, friendships, and alliances. That is the big play. So on Monday, it is cloudy with a chance of being a little mental. That's because the moon is in Capricorn, and so your emotions are getting the best of your mind, and your mind is getting the best of your emotions. You might have a bit of a sharp tongue. There was breakdown yesterday in your context consciousness, so something in your world cracked or fell apart. Could have been a friendship, could have been how you saw yourself in the world, could have been what you thought the world was. Either way, that crack today is processed, so you are cloudy and processing what the hell that was, and really we're in a bit of a stalemate. Let me show you. We have a double squared on this day. The moon is opposing Venus, which for you feels like a tug-of-war. A tug-of-war between your mind and your beliefs. You're trying to keep an open mind, you're trying to believe new things, but your mind is having a hard time or pulling on it, and you must find synergy and balance between the two. Stuck between the two worlds is the big, gigantic base note of the week, which is Saturn in Libra. By the end of the week, if you watch Direct 3 videos, you know you have to decide and commit to a new faith by Sunday. I'm not kidding. And if you don't, the cement's going to dry pretty darn quick. You'll see in this video what I mean by it. But this particular opposition between your thoughts and your beliefs has this subcurrent of you not being committed to a principle of interfaith, which would resolve conflicts like these in life, that principle of interfaith. So that's kicking you in the butt skis on Monday. On Tuesday, Venus rules the day and Scorpios go to sleep. Sunny, nesting, and resting on Tuesday. Don't be too surprised if you need a nap, and I really recommend you get it because the end of the week is a bitch. So really love yourself on Tuesday and return healing energy to thy emotional self. That's what really nesting and resting is doing whatever maintenance is necessary to restore order to our emotions. Now, we are blessed with a yod, which is God giving us the finger in astrology in talk. It comes from this new sending or this desire to emotionally balance yourself. So you want to emotionally ground, you want to balance, you want to nurture emotions, you want to feel good. Uranus on the other side says you want a better life, you want to feel better in the moment. This desire to feel nurtured and this need to feel better in the moment actually is what drives you to restore peace and order in your lifestyle or in your context thinking. So whatever broke down in friendships, context, whatever, now you can restore order with these two desires moving forward. Good stuff. On Wednesday, Neptune rules the day, and you really go to sleep. Cloudy nesting and resting for the officers of the zodiac, the guardians. Neptune rules the day, making everyone more psychic. It's a great day to log into your higher self, and what you're doing is kind of figuring out your next move and determining exactly what must go in your context world, or the context of your world. Now, the planets have quite a complicated flight path of awareness for this particular day, and I'm going to walk you through it because it's pretty fascinating. You know, you start seeing things like this towards the end of a big shift, which is what this whole fall is a big shift. And this is a brilliant example of how the planets work, something only an astrologer gets to see usually, but not anymore, right, with technology. This story starts with Pluto. Pluto says, Scorpios, you must keep an open mind and be free of old mind games. You must give reality a second chance. Your mind must give reality a second chance, or none of this is going to work. Unless you're open-minded, it's not going to work. That energy flows into the sun, which is what allows you to be intuitive and open-minded about where you belong in the world. So first of all, you need an open mind, then you need to put that open mind on the world, then you need to listen to your intuition. Then that intuition will pour into Mars in Scorpio, and it's that intuitive sense that's going to give you the strength to really pull your sword and start cutting. That's what Mars in Scorpio is saying. Cutting boundaries. It means you're going to have to say no to some people. You're going to have to say yes to others. You're going to have to say no to yourself and yes to yourself. This is your ego in some ways having to swallow pride but get stronger, but it all comes from that path that I gave you. And what this says is, when you follow that path, Mars in Scorpio, that energy and fulfillment pours into your inner child and restores you the vitality of life, joy, creativity, etc. So if you ask me why life isn't fun, because perhaps you didn't follow this particular path, and Wednesday's a day of, I think, finding that path. Then on Thursday, sunny and childlike, hopefully if you followed the path I just described, it comes from making decisions and commitment, in your case, committing to what you're not in the world. And that is the first thing. We cut away what doesn't work for us in the live of the live, love, be. So you're cutting away what you are not, cutting the titles you are not, cutting the neighborhoods you will not be in, cutting the societies you will not belong to, deciding what you do not belong to at all. And I think this is going to make your inner child quite happy, because Scorpios do love to cut the dead weight. At the same time, this path kind of matures on this day from this cutting, and the map is here again. The sun says, hey, when we cut and cut away from what we are not in the world, this empowers our ego, Mars at 4 degrees, to make the necessary cuts in the moment, moment to moment, and to cut out the crap moment to moment. The more crap we cut out moment to moment, the energy flows down into Neptune and Chiron, which basically helps us to restore our inner faith. Let's take a look at what's going on. As the moon comes into Pisces and you follow that path, the moon will cross over Neptune. Neptune actually is a catapult, direct connection to God University, and it's hanging out in your inner child. In other words, the universe is trying like crazy to hone in like a tractor beam Scorpio's inner child to God consciousness and remind them that life is worth living. I think what you do when you follow that path that I gave you is you have the opportunity to heal and feel good in the moment. When that happens, the moon heads for Chiron retrograde, which means this healing turns into a lifelong healing, and which means if you do the soul work correctly, you may find yourself being healed all the way back to childhood. And this is part of the magical dynamic that's going on right now in the universe, to not just get us on the right path of where we really belong and cut the karma, but to also heal your inner child at the same time. This is an example of how the universe just baffles me. Then comes Friday, and Friday is actually a pretty dynamic day. We have a full moon on Friday, and Mars rules the day. That's masculine, aggressive, testosterone, heat, and a full moon. Oh my goodness, everyone better be careful. Lock up your virgin daughters. The Scorpios are on a prowl. Now this is a showers at first with a chance of temper tantrums for the Scorpions. That's because the full moon might make you want to go rawr, as Scorpios kind of do, and demand what you deserve. Okay, so that's the temper tantrum. Now the moon is full and opposing the sun, and this is a tug of war in essence between what your inner child wants and what the world keeps telling you what you should do when you know damn well what you want to do. So it is that breaking free of those shackles between you holding your own inner child back on the one hand, probably due to those wounds you just healed, and on the other hand, you moving forward where you really feel like you belong. And where you belong is based on where your inner child feels like it belongs. That's the secret formula, okay? So Mercury is at 0 degrees on this particular full moon, which means everyone is mindless. So for God's sakes, don't drink and drive. The world is absolutely a bit crazy on this one, all right? And it is time for you to move forward and take steps of action, basically, toward where you don't want to be anymore. So stepping out of the old neighborhoods on the full moon Friday for the Scorpios. This will immediately restore belief in life to you, as those emotions in Pisces trine over to Venus and Cancer, which is opening your mind to all sorts of possibilities as you rewrite your own script on the fly. So a powerful full moon, a powerful day of release. Hopefully you do the work. On Saturday, we squat and hold space. What are you holding space on? Well, the new neighborhood, or at least the neighborhood you're not in. You're squatting to not slip back into the old context of the old neighborhood. And the moon is still triggering inner child, so I think you are creative. This is a powerful manifestation day. Now, going back to the Act 3 videos, this is the weekend that quietly pretty much determines who the leaders and who the followers are, although you will have till Halloween to wrap it up. This is the big karma cutting ceremony of 2012. And for Scorpios, that karma cutting starts on this Saturday. Let's take a look at the planets. These are some hard wires. I'm going to show you why it is that your decisions must be had now. It starts with Mars in your sign and Saturn in Libra. Saturn in Libra says, okay, Scorpio, time to commit to an inner faith. That means you're committing to killing certain weeds. That means you're committing to a certain spiritual practice in your heart. That also means that you're giving up the keys to God. That when things freak out, you're going to go to your own inside instead of expecting anything on the outside. Are you ready to make that leap? Well, you need a commitment by Wednesday energetically. And notice how Saturn trines into Neptune, and notice how Mars trines into Neptune. Basically, as you decide and commit, and you take actions to draw boundaries with your ego, that energy all trines into your inner child. So you will be either breaking your own inner child's heart or not breaking your own inner child's heart by whether you face your karma or don't face your karma in the next, let's say, 7 days. Another theme going on is this square Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter in Gemini says you are changing the way you draw boundaries, and when it comes to drawing boundaries, you're kind of under construction. So ironically, this is a real test for the Scorpios, because what you do best usually, which is draw boundaries, is temporarily offline and riddled with fear between drawing boundaries and society. So I don't think you're going to feel very comfortable with boundaries for a while. Just jump anyways. And then of course that moon in Pisces trines into Cancer, so all the while, the more your inner child comes alive, the more you rewrite what the religion is. Up until now, the religion might be, nice guys finish last. But now, if you're doing the spiritual work, you're seeing the religion shift on the fly to, oh my God, miracles do happen. So incredible dynamics going on. Then Sunday, boom, the universe gives us sunny and hyper aware, and we have IB Me Day. IB Me Day is a double energy. It is the 11 degree with Virgo, which is the healing energy, so it's the healing number with the healing sign, and the moon is in Aries, and the universe, believe it or not, gives us a present. Another yod, this time formed by God pointing towards the moon in Aries. And what this says to the Scorpions is this: if you draw your lines with your ego, says Mars, if you live in that synergy of the neighborhoods you belong in, that will empower you to change your life and your lifestyle. And although you might have thought you were shackled in a hell situation, you'll find that by doing this spirituality, and especially in the background Saturn committing to the new inner faith, does in fact change your perception of what life can and can't be. And that really is the power of this particular week. Can you believe it? Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. All right, Scorpio, that's all I got for this 7-day forecast. Do your spiritual work, read your Witecks, get your Act 3 video if you don't have one. I'll see you in 7 days. Until then, live, love, be.